a yard of very expensive dual uppers. You didn't even bless it before you turned it on. Hello there and welcome to today's video. So you may be wondering why behind me there is a shell that looked like it got taken out of a field, and that is because it did get taken out of a field for two very good reasons, but we're going to tell you those later on in the video. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. It may look like we bought a piece of junk. Can you confirm it is a piece of junk?
It's a piece of shit.
So, the madness is not without a good plan, or hopefully good plan. So the plan at the moment, plan number one, we are going to cut this car in half, down that way. And before anyone gets annoyed, because we're cutting a 180 in half, it's rusted. This was literally left in a field for 3 to 4 years, so any of you could have got this if you wanted to save it, but none of you had. So we're cutting it in half because we're going to make a simulator rig, and it's going to go in the carcade. If you watch the previous video, we're on about ideas that we're going to do, and this is one of them. So we're going to have this against the wall, so it's going to look like a full car. We're going to kit it up, cage it, I'm not too sure. We're going to go fairly mad with it, but this is going to be our sim rig. And because we only need half the car, there is a second reason for getting this car, because if you look in this corner there is some crash bits, and well, Craig may have another plan with that half of the car, which you're looking at right now. Right, so we're going to show why Craig may need some of this. Right, Craig, let's see the damage.
Yeah, with that. Here it is. It's not great, but it's luckily enough there's nothing really too structural, and yeah, it's kind of, insurance now has been sorted, all liability has been sorted, so it's kind of time now I can start getting stuck into it.
I was gonna say, I saw the picture of the crash and it didn't look too good. I can see the bumper over here, which also does not look too good. Did you cable tie this back together?
I'm just shocked with how many parts I still have. I think that's nuts. It was a hard enough hit, but whatever way you hit. Well, it wasn't really, it was probably like 50 kilometers an hour to dead stop, but look, she'll survive. Nothing's structurally gone, so it's just a matter of front panel and stuff like that, and a few little bits and pieces. I've already started to gather up some parts.
So you committed to rebuilding this now?
I think so.
Because after it happened, there was a lot of ums and ahs. Can it be fixed? Are you going to get something new? Do you want to build something new? Is this a bad omen for the car? But I think the fact that you built this car literally from pretty much a shell, you did everything yourself, it's kind of means quite a lot to you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like the thing about it is now, I want to bring the car back better than ever. But I also want to make the car, because obviously they're nearly 33 years old, and they're just so fragile and thin. So I kind of want to make the car back better than ever. When everything's sorted and the front panel and all's on it, I want to give it down to Ryan Morton, and I want to get him to like structure the whole car and like make it actually stronger, because Nissans, they're just so brittle and fragile, and like if you get the front panel, you can push the front panel in. So I kind of want the car just to be stronger in itself and kind of make it back better than it even was before it was hit. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
I'll say with the shell that we have, I would say you can easily pull something together. And as Craig says, this is a saying that we have in the company now. Shouldn't be an issue.
Never an issue.
Right, so we're going to leave this and come back to it at a later date and see how that's getting on. But whilst we're down here, our partners Link ECU dropped off a few goodies for you guys.
It did. So we still have 3 sensors to go into the car. It's kind of just, we literally just plugged in the plug and play G4X into the car, put a base map onto it, and it's running. But it's far from finished yet. The car still needs to be run in and everything else. So
I don't think we've actually shown this car really. Actually, we showed it a little bit on the Japfest video, but this was Jimmy Oaks' pick for the Japfest show, wasn't it? So here you go.
yeah, so the car was pretty much pulled out of a field 4 or 5 months ago now at this stage. So it got a street port and stuff from Shadow Rotary. It's just a 13B link ECU. It's all fairly standard. But yeah, it's pretty much just a cool looking rotary car that makes cool noises.
That's literally all Rotaries are. They're not reliable, they're not anything, but they look cool and they make cool noises. That's kind of their thing. So as always, loads of cool cars in here. You've probably seen them in loads of previous videos because we've featured them many times. This one though, this was your dad's car and then your car only about a year ago, and now it's come back here now.
And now it's his car again. Yeah, it's just the one that keeps on coming back.
And you've got the strong DS35s on there, which do look spectacular.
We kind of just had them sitting around and we tried them onto it and they looked class, so they stayed on it.
And then we have this one in the corner, this is actually my favourite car. This is the Volkswagen Bug.
This is my dad's favourite. He loves this. If anything was to happen to this car, now whatever anything else in here, that's it.
But there is a bit of a wild plan for this.
There is. So this is going to be Subaru powered soon, and 400 horsepower, which is strange to think.
And a mad body kit going on, which, I don't know, as an idea sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I want to see this thing in reality.
It's actually called an Orderly Beast style Beetle kit. So that just goes into perspective of what it's actually going to be like.
So I won't say too much more about that, but I heard the plans and it sounds incredible, and that'd be over on the 888 Customs channel. That is how a Rotary should sound. That's how mine should sound. Yeah, should definitely get mine street ported, I think. Next up, Shadow Rotary. So not everything's going to be getting fixed on this today because there's quite a bit of wiring and sensors and stuff like that to get it all sorted, but we did want to come down here because every petrol head is into Rotaries, and this is the best place in Ireland you can go for Rotaries. It's a company called Shadow Rotary, and they do anything from rebuilds to making, I don't know, a quad rotor, twin turbo, God knows what. You imagine it, they can probably make it. Right, so whilst the guys are looking over Darren's RX-7 and trying to get all the niggly bits all sorted with that, we're down here with James. You may remember from a previous video, you took me in your white, was it a 3-rotor turbo or?
No, that was a twin rotor single turbo, and you were trying to convince me to go to 10,000 RPM on me break-in, man.
What did you just rev to then?
That was about 6, I think.
Get it to 10, blah, gotta get it.
I didn't though, so we kept that one alive. So
Yeah, unfortunately he didn't give in to that. But you have, this isn't a new car, this is just your other car, is it?
This is the other one, yeah. The other wonderful machine that I love so much.
So you say that with a kind of, my face is smiling, but there's a lot of pain behind these eyes.
Pain. Look into the eyes, it's a real thing.
This is a 3-rotor, so this is 3 times as much pain, isn't it?
This is, yeah, well, it's some people say technically it's 50% extra pain. Because it has another rotor.
And the turbo a size of a head there.
Yeah, we call that the compensator. Luke christened that actually, that wasn't me, so I can't take credit for that. It's awesome. I'm getting a sticker to say that I am. I was going to point at it, compensate.
The compensator. And what size downpipe is that?
That's 4-inch.
A 4-inch downpipe.
Yeah. Well, see, the whole thing was that on high boost that could do 900 plus horsepower, and then on low boost it'd be 600 just for doing the school run and shopping and stuff.
So you do drive. You're a brave man, braver men than most. Daily driving a free rotor.
Yeah, and I've driven that up and down to Donegal, no problem.
Can I just ask, so Donegal, that's 3.5 hours away, 4 hours away.
Yeah.
How much did it cost in fuel to get there?
Tank and a half. I don't go in money anymore, it's just tank and a half, because if you count the money you'll cry.
That is very true. And you're building a 4-rotor, which will be the second one in Ireland after James Dean, which you were just saying off camera, you're annoyed you didn't get the jump on him.
Yeah, annoyed, no. Terribly upset. It's a different word.
So it'd be a sin not to hear this thing going before we move on. And if you look at the alternator pulley, it's a little rotor shape. You didn't even bless it before you turned it on.
Oh, it was off camera.
Notoriously smoky.
Yes, it does like a drink of oil.
What did you say? You put oil and a bit of petrol in?
Yeah, it runs on so much oil, it just uses a fraction of petrol. It's more oil it burns, I think, being a rotary.
So it even uses petrol in the oil?
Yeah, well, 10 mil per litre to run it, just to drive it, and then that waters down your oil, which it can then burn off, so you have to change your oil regularly. So it's just always oil, all the time.
I'm going to say this a lot in this video, you need to be a car enthusiast to put up with one of these. They're a lot smoother than the 2 rotors.
Yeah, they're famously smooth. There's apparently a test that they did with them. They could lay the coin on the engine on a factory one and it wouldn't move. So it was designed to be a luxury engine, and everybody just went, I can make that go fast. That was the end of them.
And I can't help but notice, but on the inside, obviously you don't need a stereo in a rotary, so you just got a big link dash and also some mobile oil, because obviously rotary things.
Yeah, and the best thing about that link is that Luke set it up so that when it's cold and I try to drive it on, it has a little flashing red warning that says, still cold, you bollocks. It's brilliant. So
you know what, they mapped it so I couldn't rev mine when it's cold. they've really dummy-proof mine that I won't even let me go.
I love that. Yeah, that's dummy proofing for me.
And then moving on, so we have this is again another one of Darren's cars. This was involved in the swap with the RX-7 that you have now?
Yes, there was a deal with this and the RX-7, and I was pretty much pulled out of the ditch there, James.
It was. It turned out deadly though. I'm shocked at how good the paint actually turned out without having to be fully painted. Like, it was unbelievable.
It sounded like there's a bit of pain behind there, thinking it was absolutely f***ed, and then
yeah, it's literally like, oh damn it.
And then what else do we have along here? I don't know, this is like I'm not gonna say junkyard, but it's like a yard of very expensive dual-uppers.
Yeah, there's a few doer-uppers here, but they're worth crazy money now. They're gone nuts. Like, these were $4,000 cars 15 years ago, so I used to buy them all the time.
Well, that's the mad thing. I asked this just off camera, how much they're worth. What did you say? They're collecting anywhere from 30, 40, 50 grand here?
Depending on the model, yeah. Depending on the model, and obviously the spec and stuff. And if it's a built one, they're just worth a lot more, because obviously having a warranty on one is what some people want. Because there are obviously horror stories about rotaries because people know nothing about them. But if they're built right and tuned right, they're a good car.
That's said on camera there. That's touch some wood quickly. So yeah, what do we have? Like, these are rare cars now. People in America, I don't think there is as many in America. And just in here, there's what, 6 or 7 FDs?
This is a light day. There's usually more than this. It's crazy here. People will bring them from anywhere in the country down to here to get them done. So some days it could be 10 or 12.
It's such a small country. There is a lot of Japanese imported modified cars, I think. Hopefully there's no spider webs. This one's just been used as a skip.
You know what I think we should say, Josh? The funniest part with this place is it's 10 minutes from our office and we never knew that.
Yeah, that's a good thing and could be a dangerous thing, I think, being 10 minutes away, because we can just pop by and get horrible ideas. So this is a Cosmo.
This is a Cosmo.
And this is the only factory free rotor.
And I believe it was the first with sequential twin turbocharging. It had satellite navigation, a car phone, at all sorts in 89 actually, I think they were first brought out. So they were like, these were their attempt at beating Jag and BMW. And it didn't, well, it just didn't take off. The luxury brand didn't work for them. So these were badged as a Unos Cosmo, not a Mazda. So Unos is their luxury brand. So that's me nerding out now, but...
So the Rotary kind of killed their luxury brand.
No, I don't know if it was the Rotary. I think it might have been the price point, and then people couldn't get on board with a Mazda costing X amount, because the RX-7 was brought out, and it was brought out to compete with Porsche, and it was priced to compete with Porsche, and people were like, it's a Mazda. But it was better on the track than some of the Porsches of the same era, but they just couldn't sell it.
I only got made aware of this, I think last year, that there was a car with a free rotor standard. That sounded absolutely bonkers, but so all you hear is Mad Mike's cars going free rotor, and you think of performance drift cars and everything like that, but fairly cool to see a free rotor car, and it must be very rare because I've only seen 2 of these in my lifetime.
Yeah, there aren't a lot of them left because the engines were obviously pulled to make the likes of that 7 or drift cars or whatever, so there were people guilty of taking this shell and just ripping the engine out and scrapping the shell.
Right, so we're moving on to the inside now. So we're here with Anthony. You're the owner of Shadow Rotary.
I am indeed, yeah.
So to put it in simplest terms, this is the go-to place in Ireland for Rotaries, because I guess not that many people want to touch them, and you're the expert.
There's a few about.
I love Rotaries, and I don't know that much about them. It's kind of a small engine. It's a kind of triangle thing that spins, and it's a 0.7 litre, but somehow it's like a 2 litre.
No, they're simple enough. 2 of them running around, or 3 of them, or 4 of them, or 5 or 6, depending on what you're looking to build. The factory ports, so air fuel comes in, gets dispersed through the engine. Now we're going straight in and straight out, and that's something what the end product will work like.
So essentially you've lined up here from a standard rotor housing to it being machined out a bit, and that's the finished product.
Pretty much, yeah.
So one thing I got disappointed about when I got a Rotary first was it didn't have the bap bap bap, and I thought all Rotaries had that. All I thought you had to do was do a straight through pipe, and that's the sound that you got. But then I learned that you had to port them, and there's a street port and a full port and
A bridge port.
oh god, I didn't realize there's 3 ports.
That's an example there of a template we'd base our ports off.
So you literally just place this on top and you just sand it out essentially.
We pretty much cut it out. It's a week-long process alone.
That's a week-long process to do that.
To bridgeport a full engine, it's slow and steady. And what we're trying to do is create a little bit of overlap between the exhaust port open, and we just want to get as much volume, we want to suck in as much air and fuel as we can. What we're doing is moving the power band higher up in the RPM range.
Is that simply more air and fuel makes more power?
As easy as that.
You offer a warranty with engines,
Yeah, full 2-year warranty on all engines.
which sounds absolutely bonkers to me, because Rotaries are supposed to be the unreliable things, and to offer a warranty, like, they can be reliable. They get given a bad name because of reputation.
Reputation. You know, bad servicing. A bad tune will kill a Rotary in seconds. But you know, if we can guarantee the build, we're confident in all the parts. Everything's measured, double and triple checked. We offer warranty on all our builds. Only way to do it.
That's incredible. So you're the man to talk about the what are these capable of if you go through the twin rotor to the 4 rotor?
Well, the twin rotor, Anthony built one for me that was 450. Then that wasn't powerful enough. Then I wanted 5. Then I wanted 6, and then I built one for 9 potentially, but didn't get there. We were hoping to be 7 on a daily on a 13B 700 brake. The 2 rotors in, I think, PR Puerto Rico, aren't they? They're doing 900 horsepower on some of the 2 rotors. Like, they're insane. They're built
900 on a 2 rotor. So like you could wind that back to a reliable 500.
You could, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Craig. This seems like a bit of a challenge for your dad now. I think you can wind him up. He needs 900 in his engine.
I don't know. I don't think he does. I don't even think I trust my old dad with 900 regular.
Right, I think with this new knowledge of ours that this place is so close, I think I wanted a Rotary for the bap bap bap. I didn't get the bap bap bap, so I think we're gonna have to come down here to do my Rotary. What do you think?
I think so. I think I want a Rotary.
It's a vicious place coming here. So before we leave, something caught our eye, and Craig has the figures on this. So this is a Caro that comes standard in
the Spirit or 7s, I think.
So this is, for anyone that knows anything about this seat, it is pretty pricey. Would you give me the facts and figures of this? And bearing in mind, this is pretty tatty.
The lads here have told me that a good condition pair of them will cost you about 15 grand, which is crazy. I think they paid like 2 or 3 for this one.
Which to anyone would look like a knackered seat. It's missing the bit from there. It's just...
Good joke.
What? Looks like yours is up and running now. Right, so now the guys are done with this, we're going to wrap up this video here. In the next while, we will do some road stuff with this because it looks awesome and sounds awesome. And who knows, we may be back here with one of our cars in the near future. But for now, we're going to leave you here and we are going off to Australia now for the LZ World Tour, the last stop. So we're actually going around the world after Australia, from New Zealand to LA to Las Vegas and then back home again. So for next month, we're going to be on the road filling you in with all the content there. We've got loads of exciting things. So we'll catch you guys on the next one when we're down under.